With temperatures heating up here in Dubai, caring for our pets and looking out for those warning signs becoming increasingly important.
In just a moment, we'll be hearing from a vet on how to make sure that your pet copes with the heat in the coming months. But first, Jessica Barder took her own darling dog for a treatment that'll be the envy of every pooch.
I'm so excited. It's time for a treat. No, not for me. Meet Mrs. Bumblebee, my 1-year-old pug, and as it's her birthday, she needs a spotted pampering.
Bee, do you remember how I told you were going to get a treat? Remember? Treats. Do you remember? Well, this is it. Dogwalk, let's go!
Dogwalk is the ultimate in luxury for your pooch and the only spa and retreat in the region. Mrs. Bumble is already running late, so her first stop is a vet hydrotherapy session. Julia, what's the hydrotherapy session about?
Hydrotherapy sessions are mainly here for rehabilitation. We use it for dogs that had surgery and joint surgery, for example. And as well, we use it for fitness swim.
Okay.
So if dogs have a problem that they can't exercise outside very much, like for arthritis, for example, or they're overweight and need to lose some extra weight, need some extra exercise, but they can't get outside, then we have them in the pool for some swimming.
Okay. You're giving Bee an assessment today. Would you say she's overweight?
I would say yes, she's a little bit on the heavy side. What you usually have, you want to have the easy feel of her ribs if you go along, and you really have to dig in to find her ribs. So swimming would be ideal for that, for
Fantastic.
example.
Well, she's having a swimming session today, aren't you, Bee?
Yeah.
Yay! With the assessment complete, it was time for little Bee's first swimming lesson with Adriana. Let's face it, she needs the exercise. Ooh, now this is more like it. Sheila has a magic touch and she is loving this. Wonder if I swapped when Sheila wasn't looking, they'd notice. Sheila, what's a thalassotherapy massage?
It's basically a health and beauty treatment, the same as women use. We've known the benefits of mud for years. It starts with a deep seawater massage. Then we apply the mud, wrap her in plastic, and add some heat. The heat helps the mud to absorb into the skin and the coat.
Bee's very, very lucky.
Yes, she seems to be enjoying it.
And as if a massage wasn't enough, time for an organic bath and state-of-the-art blow-dry. What's not to like? Mrs. Bumble feels like a star, so it's time to head home after a special day filled with treats. It's a dog's life.
Now, we can't all take time out to spend a day at the spa with our pet, but there are some things we should know at this time of year.
Here to tell us what to look out for and how we can best care for our animals is head veterinary surgeon Julia Berenzis with us in the studio. Just saw her there, of course. And, well, so many questions to get through, especially when we're coming to this time of year. How do you sum it up for viewers out there? Best advice for viewers with pets coming into the summer?
Coming into the summer. Well, the main thing is keep them out of the main heat midday. You know?
Out of the sun.
Out of the sun, out of the heat. Don't put them in cars unless you have the aircon running all the time. Make sure you do your walkies first thing in the morning when it's usually the coolest, and in the evening still wait after about a couple of hours after sunset because the pavement will be still hot. So if you want to take them out in the evening when it's cooler, wait a couple of hours after sunset. The main day where the sun's out in the summer, it's just too hot, and especially in the short-nosed breeds, they have a lot of problems as well from the breathing side.
What about activities like taking them to the beach?
Unfortunately, this is not really possible here in the UAE. Dogs are not allowed on public beaches.
Oh, really? Okay.
So the best thing, if you have a pool at home and you're confident with your dog, you can swim there. Otherwise, we offer at Dogwalk Clinic a hydrotherapy pool where they can come for swimming, so they can exercise in there, or they can go on a treadmill.
Yeah, I tried that a couple of weeks ago. It didn't go down too well with the rest of the people in the gym and the swimming pool at home. But, no, on a more serious note, speaking from experience here and having a very unhappy pooch during the summer months, it seems to be a time as well when the temperature goes up, the sort of allergies get worse as well. Is there a case of that or not?
Yes, that's correct. We see a lot of more problems because of the heat and especially the humidity, because they actually sweat as well.
Right.
mainly on certain places. It's a great time for bacteria to grow on the skin, in the ears, on the paws, because of the conditions here. And
so
that's
advice
the main problem.
to dog owners out there coming into summer, if you've got a long-haired dog, trim them?
Yes, trim them.
Going into the summer.
I would always advise trimming. Obviously, if you have a show dog, some people wouldn't like to do it, so they have to find probably ways to keep the dog cool otherwise.
Yeah.
But I'm always in favour in trimming them because that gives them just a little bit more air.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going into, you know, the climate change. But what about buying new pets or, you know, taking a pet from a friend who's leaving the country, perhaps? How do you look after it and take measures?
Well, first of all, you should actually see how the dog's still behaving in the environment where you take him out of, you know, because that can tell you already a lot how the dog is actually prepared to live with you afterwards. Make sure, if you have children, obviously make sure he's okay with children, with noises, that he's used to house training, which a lot of dogs, especially if they come from the apartments, it can be a problem. You know, make sure you see how he's with other dogs, because if you then take your pooch out the first time on the lead outside and there's another one and he just goes for it, obviously you don't want this. So make sure you have a look, even if it's in the kennel or from a shelter, see how they behave in their environment there before you take them
Was
home.
that you offering to look after my dogs whilst I go away for the summer as well?
We won't go there right now.
Weight gain during the summer. Now, I'm not talking
Big
about me,
problem.
but we're talking about the dogs and animals, because they don't exercise as much. So is it par for the course, really?
Yeah, it's a big problem here in this country, unfortunately,
Right.
because usually people take the exercise down, but they forget to take the food intake down. You know, so that if you counteract straight away, okay, the dog walks only twice a day, not as long, only probably a third of the time that he usually goes out, take a third of the food away. It's quite easy as that. It's not big fancy ideas behind it or big diets.
So you just adjust it accordingly.
Exactly. If you exercises less, feed less. And that's a lot of dogs happily accept to that, because obviously in the summer months they don't really want to exercise. They're just more lazy
They're
anyway.
lazing about.
Exactly. So if you take the food away accordingly, that's absolutely fine.
Running out of time on this one. A couple of last points. Air conditioning. Do animals like air conditioning? Obviously it's essential.
Yeah, it is essential. They don't like obviously to be straight in the flow, in the draft. They don't like that. They quite easily get eye infections if there's always in the draft. But obviously air conditioning as such is great, but don't make it too cold, because otherwise the change from then going outside into the heat for a walk can actually cause health
Good
trouble
advice.
as well.
And I suppose the message from you, keep an eye on your pets during the summer, because
Yes,
they
for
can
sure.
get quite stressed, especially during the heat.
Yeah.
And if in doubt, come down and see
Come
you
down
or
to
any of the
Dogwalk
vets
and
around
see
town.
us. As I say, for fitness and swimming, we have a great pool, so they can exercise there.
I
And
might even
temperature
pop
control.
along after I've seen
Yeah,
the facilities.
temperature control, so
For-
they're fine.
For more information, people can go to dogwalkonline.com.
That's right.
All right.
Thanks,
excellent.
Julia.
Thank you,
Thank you
Julia.
very much.